everybody. I hope you had a great day and I hope your evening is off to a calm and peaceful start. Sometimes it's hard to find time in the evenings to actually unwind or even focus on ourselves because we're so busy throughout the day that by the time the kids are in the bed or in their beds, or we've gotten the dishes done and laundry taken care of, or the dog walked, or whatever it is we have to do, we just kind of want to call it quits. So if you're here and if you're focusing on you for a moment with time to just meditate and relax on a positive thought, good for you for taking the time. I know it can be difficult to do sometimes. At the end of the day, sometimes all you want to do is just call it quits and go to bed. But here we are trying to end our day on a positive note. So if you are new to our nightly meditations or our nightly reflections, we always focus on a positive thought, something to kind of help us keep perspective or reframe what sometimes end up being negative thought patterns, and trying to kind of just retrain our brain to think positively and therefore hopefully increase our quality of life. So our thought tonight is, I was born to be real, not to be perfect. Perfection is a myth. I think we've talked about that before. And perfection is something that the more we strive for, the more elusive it is. And I think it's definitely one of those things that we just need to put behind us and just realize that it's not going to happen for anyone. Perfectionism is such a burden. So let's go ahead and agree to set that aside and just accept us as we are. And rather than seeking perfection, we should be seeking growth. So let's go ahead and either take our comfortable seated position, or if you prefer to lay down, go ahead and do that as well. And as with any of our meditations, there's no trick to it. Just focus on your breath, relax your mind, relax your body. And if the mind begins to wander, we just call it back to the breath. That's all there is to it. So you can either take one hand over the chest, one hand to the belly, or you can relax your hands over your knees, whatever feels best for you. Let's begin to close our eyes, and let's just gently guide ourselves into a peaceful, calm, relaxed state of being. Let's allow ourselves to just relax into the present moment, to feel calm and centered, and to take a moment to just be. Maybe even scanning the body, looking for areas of tension, identifying any areas of stress or any discomfort. And if we do find any areas of tension or discomfort, don't fixate on it. Just direct the breath there, allowing everything to relax and soften. Just remind yourself, I am in control. I have the ability to calm my mind, and I have the ability to relax my body. Let's go ahead and scan the mind, looking for any thoughts that are kind of bouncing around, and seeing if we can gently set them aside, knowing that we can always come back to them later, but giving ourselves this time to be free, to be in a place of calm and quiet, to give ourselves time to reflect. And then let's focus on our breath and see if we can deepen our inhales and lengthen our exhales. And you'll notice that naturally, as you begin to deepen the breath, the mind and body can't help but be lulled deeper into relaxation. Each inhale, imagine breathing in a sense of peace, calm, and quiet. And each exhale, feel the mind and body grow heavy and relaxed. And throughout the day, anytime you need a moment of relaxation, you can always do a little bit of deep breathing. Let's do 2 more breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. And tell yourself, I am perfect just as I am, not as I think I should be. And let's relax our hands back down, either opening the eyes or casting the gaze downward. And we'll begin to explore this thought a little bit deeper. I was born to be real, not to be perfect. And again, let's say that together. I was born to be real, not to be perfect. I am a beautiful representation of what it means to be real, raw, and unfiltered. I was not born to live a life of falsified perfection, but to live a life of honest beauty. In a world that is portrayed through the filtered lens of perfection, it can be all too easy to find myself wondering, how can I be better? How can I portray this image of perfection? Those questions and those thoughts are short-lived though, because I know that perfection is a myth. Every successful individual has had their fair share of failures, even if they choose not to disclose them. Behind every glossy magazine cover is a team of individuals working hard to create that perfect image, an image that invokes a sense of desire to recreate that perfect scene. I know that regardless of how perfect another life may seem, I remember that I am only viewing it from the outside. I can only see as much or as little as is being purposefully displayed to the outside world. There is no such thing as a perfect life, only an imperfect life that is perfectly embraced. If I allow myself to get stuck in a cycle of seeking perfection, I prohibit myself from making necessary mistakes. It is through mistakes that real learning occurs. And through learning, I am able to grow into the life I desire for myself. I know that my expectations must remain true to my reality. For me to be able to reach any feelings of satisfaction, my expectations must be reasonable. To strive for the unobtainable only sets me up for failure. There is no joy in perfection. There is only abundant, soul-crushing pressure to continue to perform at an unsustainable pace. When I allow myself to be real and to perform at a level that is sustainable, I find that not only do I experience more successes, but I also enjoy the process. Striving for perfection hinders my progress towards my goals by boxing me into failure and a sense of self-despair. By seeking perfection and viewing perfection in others while only flaws in myself, I prevent myself from being able to see my potential and my worth. If I continue to teach myself that I am not good enough by never being satisfied with my looks or my efforts, I begin to believe that there is truly something wrong with me, when in fact there is nothing wrong with me except for my thought process. The desire for perfection often breeds anxiety, fear, doubt, and shame. The desire for knowledge or experience leads to feelings of fulfillment, pride, and trust in my abilities. By living a life that is real, I am able to breathe comfortably, knowing that I am portraying the version of myself that actually fits reality. And by portraying an image of myself as I am, rather than what I should or could be, I hope to inspire others to embrace themselves as they are as well. This life is too meaningful to seek a level of perfection that does not exist. I will not allow the filtered images of perfection to fool me into thinking I should be anything but real. For I know I was born to be real, not to be perfect. Let's go ahead and bring our hands back to our heart. Take in a big, deep, cleansing breath. Big inhale. Relaxed exhale. And notice how good that cycle of breath feels. Inhale. Exhale. And let those words sink into your soul. I was born to be real, not to be perfect. Know how beautiful and worthy you are just as you are. Appreciate your individuality. Honor your worth and your potential. Take pride in who you are. And let us take one more deep breath together. Inhale. Exhale. And relaxing our hands back down, we'll end once more with I was born to be real, not to be perfect. Wishing you all a beautiful night. Love you always.